And we're live. Welcome to Musketeers. There is no brushable hair here.
Fuck
That's
you.
just meant as a dig at Terra.
Brushable hair is epic.
Oh, okay. So I guess we're not also. So we're not talking about GI Joe or Star Wars action figures either. As we were talking about Star Wars action figures, the originals, it would be no bendable knees or elbows either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wow. I remember those. My God.
Yeah, you could get all of your stormtroopers to goose step because that was the only way they could walk.
You know what? I actually had the complete collection of all of those coins. Do you remember when they had the commercials where the Millennium Falcon was flying over the people's houses in the suburbs and beaming the coins down to everybody?
Yeah,
my God, that commercial's from like '83, I think, or '84.
I think that commercial actually corresponded with was it the Christmas special, which would have made it '79.
I think they replayed it again because they were. This is how I remember it. They played it during the Ewok movie when it was on TV.
Oh yeah, the Caravan of Courage, but that would have been '87 because the Ewok movies didn't come out until after Return of the Jedi.
Let me see then. When was it? Okay, so it must have been '87 because I remember seeing it during those, but I also remember seeing it because I think I saw, Return of the, I was young. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater when I was a kid.
You know what? It could have been when they came out with Empire Strikes Back.
What year did Empire come out with?
I want to say '83.
And what was Return of the Jedi? Was that
'87? Because it was the first movie I remember seeing in the theaters.
The first movie I remember seeing when I was a kid was E.T. I think it was like 4.
Well, I was saying I remember when it came out in the Empire Strikes Back was 1980. I stand corrected.
Damn. Yeah, so it was definitely Return of the Jedi was the one I seen in the theaters.
Let me see, but I want to say Jedi was '87, but no, Jedi was '83. Okay. Damn, I remember Vince back from 1983. Shit.
Yeah. So I was going to say 87. By that point, I think I was seeing Rambo in the theaters or Indiana Jones.
Speaking of the 80s, I follow this thing called 80s Then, 80s Now on Twitter, and the 80s singles of the day that were popular in the 80s on this day. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, John Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, Tina Turner Private Dancer, Megadeth, He Sells, Journey Journey Don't Stop Believing, and Beastie Boys Brass Monkey.
Yes, the Beastie Boys Brass Monkey, the first rap song to really be popular. From 3 Jewish guys from the Bronx or the Brooklyn. They were from Brooklyn.
Let me see. MCA was from Brooklyn, but the other 2 were from Lower Manhattan.
Well, they were the last decent music act to come out of that area. I mean, come on. Let's look at what New York proper is producing nowadays. Cardi B. That's all I have to say there.
Well,
you can't understand that bit.
When I was a kid, my neighborhood produced the Stray Cats. So
they're kind of a one-hit wonder.
Nah, the Brian Setzer Orchestra and the rest of they got a really good catalog, and I seen them live when I was a kid over at Jones Beach. They're fucking amazing.
Timmy Two-Tone from New York too.
What's up?
Timmy Two-Tone.
Tommy Two-Tone, yeah, Tommy Two-Tone. He's from New York, and so's Kiss. Yeah, Kiss actually. This bar I used to go to up over in Wantor. It was the first bar that Kiss ever played at. It's funny if you watch Ace Frehley in interviews, his accent's worse than mine.
Yeah, but I mean, the only one I've ever seen do interviews would be Gene Simmons, and that was when he was trying to sell the Kiss Vault, which as a Kiss fan, I still refuse to spend $50K on the Kiss Vault. Even though the $50K, Gene Simmons will personally install it in your house and take you to dinner. Be like, better take me to dinner if I spent $50,000 on my shit.
Yeah, seriously. No, I agree though. I don't know if it's worth coming out of pocket.
Well, no, it has original vinyl pressings of everything they ever made. All of their unreleased, copies of all of their unreleased studio tapes, and all of it also all digitally remastered in in cassette tape, CD, MP3 format, as well as vinyl and reel to reel.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
still and worth 50 grand.
And for $50,000, you get to Gene Simmons personally comes and brings the giant coffin safe that holds it all, that's decorated like Kiss, and installs it in your house. I'm just saying, my home bar, I might be actually measuring some shit out now. I mean,
well, I'm not gonna lie, it does sound really cool.
I think it also comes with 4 life-size Kiss dolls that are dressed up, but I'm not sure. I mean, if it came with all of that, I'd be like, yeah, it's worth $50K. I get my own like Kiss mannequins to stand up in the corner too.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna go the full Monty, you might as well just get the mannequins to go with the rest of it. But
yeah, but I think you'd have to be like a major Kiss fan for that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I got like memorabilia over the years from shit, like, and it was one of those things like people would gift me weird shit. Like, I forget what I got, like this one piece of memorabilia, and I forget what the fuck. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. Like somebody, I don't know how the hell I acquired this, but it made me look like this giant. Oh yeah, it's an actual reproduction of the mirror behind Moe's bar in The Simpsons, and this girl, this exotic dancer I'm friends with, she gave it to me. It was this really expensive bar mirror. And she said, well, what do you think? I looked at her. I said, looks great. I don't have a bar. What the hell am I going to do with this thing? Like, I got that. And somebody got me the exact same. You ever see the changing screens where you go behind it and you get undressed and you throw the shit over the screen, like, while you're talking to somebody they show in the movies all the time? Somebody got me the exact same changing screen that the band Lit was using on their tour while they were on stage, and it was a friend of mine who worked at the security. He's like, "Yeah, I got you the screen. What do you? They sent us a few of them when they toured." I said, "That's great. What the fuck am I gonna do with a 7-foot changing screen with a pair of flaming dice on it?"
Dude, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, right? I mean, I still got the fucking screen. It's in the box.
Okay, guys. So, if you could save one of these movies, which would it be? And they're all from the 80s. The rest have to be destroyed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You can save Hellraiser, Videodrome, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or Reanimator.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is the one I'm going to save.
I would save that one too.
I was going to say Reanimator.
I'm only familiar with...
That's a hard sell, but
Killer
when
Clowns and
I
Hellraiser. I don't know the other two.
The other two are wonderful fucking B movies. That's all you have to remember.
Yeah.
Hellraiser, I don't really care for.
I've never seen it.
Just Pinhead and his box are kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if I had to see any shitty movie from the 1980s, and I'd have to destroy everything else in that genre, it would be by far Earth Girls Are Easy. I would say that.
You son of a bitch! I was just gonna say that.
I mean, it's an early Jeff Goldblum film. It's sci-fi.
It's
comedy.
early Jeff Goldblum. It's early Jim Carrey and early Damon Wayans.
Yeah. And Gina Davis, which was really hot.
Yeah, before she looked like a wretched whore.
Yeah.
Before she started looking like Kathy Lee Gifford.
Okay, so here's some video
she's
games.
taller than me.
Scooby.
What?
You would know these. You can save one of these games. The rest will be destroyed. Pole position, defender, missile command, or Frogger.
Oh wow.
I already know which one I would say.
You know what? Only because I had mad skill at it, I'd probably have to say I'd say Frogger.
Same here. And plus, Frogger's still going.
Yeah.
I hated Frogger. I'd probably say Missile Commander.
Well, everyone played Missile Commander. You know what one I really liked though? You remember Battle Tanks?
Yeah, the one where you could bounce the bullets around corners to hit shit.
Yeah, I love that game.
God, fucking video games have come such a long way. I mean, it was such. That game was so. I mean, you think about it, it was such shit back in the day. You know, anybody remember the first Polygon a 3D game, Arctic Fox? It was one of the first video games with 3D in it, and the main problem with it would be that it was, well, you know, sitting in there. Basically, everything was a wireframe diagram.
Yeah.
I
couldn't play those games when I was younger.
Well, it was a computer game. I mean, it was a.
What game was this?
One that came out well before you were born. It was called Arctic Fox.
Arctic Fox?
Yeah. It was a tank simulator.
Oh, okay. So so I'm looking at it. It looks like it's from Microsoft Paint.
Yeah. It came out in like '83.
Okay.
I think I remember this game.
Here's some more movies. You can only save one. The others will be destroyed. Roadhouse, Blue Velvet, The Color of Money, and Wall Street.
I never heard of either.
That's some hard choosing.
The others, I am saving Roadhouse.
Roadhouse was good. What were the other choices?
Blue Velvet, Wall Street, and The Color of Money.
I don't know. Wall Street's a classic, though. Wall Street made it cool to be greedy. I'd have to say Wall Street. I really would say Wall Street because there was a whole generation of coke snorting stockbrokers that wouldn't have gotten their fucking start if it wasn't for Gordon Gekko.
Also, in the 80s, on February 5th, came the Barbie Ultra Vets and the Ken Dream Vets, which actually his vet looks more like an Aston Martin.
Fucking Barbie and Ken got fucking so boring. I mean, you know, the Ken dolls, because my sister had fucking Barbies. The Ken dolls remind, and I didn't have the big G.I. Joes. I had the little G.I. Joes with the bendable elbows and wrists that could actually hold a gun. But I don't know why they gave G.I. Joes guns, because they never hit shit, and they ended up punching out Cobra. But so I was, Ken dolls are a very much like feminists want males today. Just no penis.
Yeah. Ken pissed me off. I did not like Ken. I didn't like Barbie either. Like, when I was a kid, it was right when they started introducing like the different Barbies with different color hair and different color skin and all that shit. Bro, every year, like my nieces, they would get all like the olive skin Barbie with the black hair. Like, seriously, what the fuck are we gonna get her a Scandinavian action figure for?
So they had the Indian Barbie. They had the they had the
Asian Barbie or Polynesian, as they try and say it now.
Yeah.
You know,
we get them I get my nieces the Spanish Barbie, or I get like my other sister because her husband was Jordanian. I get them like the one that looked like Princess Jasmine. You know?
So you got the Barbie that had the big ass and was wet on the back.
Yeah, basically. I got the, you know what it is? I got the Barbie action figure that looked like my nieces. They had olive skin and they had black hair. So fuck it. I got them a doll that looked like them.
Yeah,
Barbie action figure.
Barbie is considered an action figure.
I don't know what else you call it. You know.
Yeah, dolls are made out of cloth. You can't make a doll drive a car. Barbie drives a car. She's an action figure.
Well, the only reason she drives a car is they wanted an excuse to sell a fucking $50 toy in a market in a time when $50 toys were like, you know, like the top of the top cost of toys.
Well, also that lasts longer than the current fucking cars that they put out for Barbie now. It was actually made out of metal. I had one.
that lasts longer than the current cars being put out by Detroit.
Hey. Be fair, Detroit don't build shit no more. It's all been outsourced. You know, I had a dude that was trying to tell me.
And baby brother, as you know, I collect Barbies. So
all too well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a guy try to tell me today that Chevrolet 1500s that he had, it was like a 2001. He's like, yeah, it's all American. And I'm like, no, it's not. That truck was built in Canada. The only thing American in that fucking truck's the block. If you want an American-made used Chevy, buy a 3/4 ton. You know?
Yeah.
Because the fucking half tons is most of the ones from like 93 to 2001 are actually considered an import. Because they're made in Canada.
More movies. Again, you can only save one. The rest will be destroyed. We will put that bitch in the incinerator.
All right.
Okay.
The Color Purple, Cocoon, Witness, or Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome.
Oh, that's easy. Platoon.
Platoon's not in there.
Oh, she said Cocoon.
Oh, Cocoon? Oh, well, that's easy. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, I go with Mad Max.
See, I'm torn between Cocoon and Mad Max.
What were the choices? You had Mad Max, Cocoon, and what else?
The Color Purple?
And the Color Purple.
Well, see,
I'll throw the Color Purple into the incinerator myself.
Well, see, here's the thing. In order to get rid of the Color Purple, you could throw it away. I mean, go ahead, by all means, because it sucked. But in order to completely get rid of the Color Purple, you would basically have to kill every white person from age 28 to age 48. Because, you know, it's a Prince movie. And for a lot of those people, Prince is like, oh, it's Prince. I never thought Prince was that fucking
I never fucking liked him.
No one here. I did not know one person that liked Prince growing up. Not one fucking person. I used to actually feel bad for Prince when I was younger because of how much people around here hated him.
Oh, yeah. They didn't like him growing up. But, you know, go to a fucking 80s or 90s night. It's like fucking nothing but Prince songs.
I sit there. I've gone to an 80s night and the DJ was playing Prince because it was someone's birthday. And I was like, can you please put in some fucking Madonna?
Well, first, Madonna hasn't aged well either. Her songs suck. They will always suck. They're horrible.
I'd rather listen to Madonna, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany, all them fuckers than fucking Prince.
Okay, but Prince is more danceable. Let's just be honest there. And you will always get someone to either request Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, or Pussy Control.
Usually I hear When Doves Cry, and that's when I want to fall my ears out.
You know what? I can't stand any of those songs you just named. You know what songs of his I actually like by Prince? Only because I remember the song when I was a teenager, and it reminded me of a girl I hooked up with because it was popular at the time. Gold by him. And the song I actually like, just because it's the only song of his I'll actually turn up on the radio, Raspberry Beret.
Oh yeah, well that's a close a close fourth in the you go to an 80s or a 90s night at a club, and that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get one of those 4 songs is gonna be played.
Raspberry Beret is the only one you can dance to, though.
Video games, you can only save one. The others go in the incinerator. Gradius, The Legend of Zelda, Commando, and Urban Champion. Urban Champion.
I'm not a fan of Zelda because I don't understand it, and I have been recently into Dallas, and there was an idiot playing that little fucking flute thing, so Zelda has to die. So I'm gonna go with Commando.
So these video games, do they go to the incinerator or the landfill?
The incinerator.
No, that's not enough. We're loading them on a rocket and launching them into the fucking sun.
I'm saving Zelda. Fuck you guys. I love Zelda.
Yeah, I'm saving Zelda.
Okay, maybe Zelda was okay. But while
the one with the flute, which I think was Wind Waker or whatever the fuck it's called, that version of the game needs to fucking die.
I think it was Ocarina of Time because I forgot to flute the ocarina.
Yeah, because that's not a flute. That's an ocarina.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, ocarina needs to die.
And when people are playing it, yeah, no, go away.
So, okay, now I know to leave my ocarina here when I come to visit you. Got it.
I mean, it's just, I think what it is, what annoys me is the hipster culture that grew up around Zelda.
No, I got what you're saying. A lot of these kids, it's the same as like those people that ruined The Nightmare Before Christmas by turning it into a fucking cult.
I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
I liked it too. I could tolerate it until it turned into a fucking cult movie. I hate that.
Is that why you made the comment about my Jack Skellington pajamas that I posted a picture of?
What did I say about him?
The ghost of Christmas regret.
No, I'm just an asshole.
And people that just watch fucking Johnny Depp early movies and go, oh, I'm like, dude, who cares?
Okay, I already know which one I'm going to save, although the other two on here I love as well. But you can only save one. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, Children of the Corn, or Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
No, 1984, because all these little fucking idiots need to watch that today.
Yeah, let me see.
I've actually never seen it.
I have. Let me see. 1984, you said Nightmare on Elm Street, the final chapter. What were the other two?
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Children of the Corn.
If 1984 was not in that lineup, I would say Children of the Corn and scrap the other two. The other two because of just how outlandish and far-fetched they are. But a bunch of hicks in Nebraska starting their own religion and killing off the adults, I could see something like that happening.
Okay, see, Children of the Corn is the exact reason why I don't go into fucking cornfields.
Yeah.
I saw this when I was a child. I think I was like 6 when I saw Children of the Corn. So it was they had already put out Children of the Corn 2.
The second one came out, I think I was in junior high or high school when the second one came out. And I remember that movie actually, it fucked my head up a little bit because the father and son were from Long Island. And that's the thing that really struck me with that movie was, oh shit, like that could be me. That's literally the only reason that movie gave me the willies at all was because the people there, he was talking about shit from around here, so it was kind of like making me creeped out.
Now, the reason why I would be saving this one is because of the backstory to it. Not the backstory of the plot, but the backstory of how the movie was made. I would be saving Nightmare on Elm Street because the original female antagonist refused to do another Wes Craven movie until Wes Craven's New Nightmare. She had to go into therapy after Nightmare on Elm Street because Wes Craven wanted authentic reactions. So nobody knew what was going to happen until it happened. So when Johnny Depp's character, which was the football player, the jock, gets killed in his waterbed, that was an authentic reaction. He did not know that this shit was about to happen the way it happened. All he knew was that, you know, this mechanical arm is supposed to pop out of his belly. He didn't know that there was going to be blood splatter fucking all over the ceiling. That's the only reason why I would save this movie, is because of how much of a mindfuck it was on the actors.
You know, the sad thing is, if you hadn't mentioned that, and if they don't mention, like, people don't realize things like that. Like, it's the same thing like when they made Jaws. That's considered, like, you know, and it was actually groundbreaking direction and all this different shit. And it's ironic that they literally, it wasn't intended for it to look the way that it looked. Like with the shark only being in certain key scenes. It's because the shark kept fucking up. And it turned out that it made the movie a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think they even lost the shark at sea, too.
Yeah. That was supposed to take place here, but they filmed it at Martha's Vineyard.
Well, I mean, they also had the wrong brand of or wrong species of shark. It really shouldn't have been a great white. It should have been a fucking bull shark, because it's actually based on something that happened around Jaws was around Martha's Vineyard when bull sharks were coming up into the rivers around that area.
And bull sharks can get bigger than great whites.
No, they
if they eat enough. If they eat enough, they can.
No, their max is about 12 feet.
Yeah.
The max of a great white is around 23.
Yeah.
At least that's the largest great white that's ever been caught.
Yeah, requiem sharks, which bull sharks are, the largest one out of that family is the tiger shark. They top out at, I believe, 18 foot. The great white, which is, I believe it's a laniform, and they top out, like Nana was saying, they usually top out at about 23 feet. They can get a little bit longer, but that's usually, they just consider that with the tail flukes. They don't usually consider the length of tail.
It's the great white, the mako, and the Kakara megadon, which is extinct, thank God.
And the thresher. A lot of people forget that one. I love thresher. You ever catch one of those goddamn things?
No,
I've never caught a thresher. I've caught bull sharks and tigers, and I've caught a mako, but a short fin mako.
In the 1800s, around the Mississippi River, people were disappearing, and nobody could figure out why. They eventually, some people were doing net fishing in the Mississippi, and they caught a bull shark that they had recorded. I think it was close to 20 feet.
It's probably a dusky then,
because it had been eating the people that were swimming in the river.
It might have been a dusky that got its way in through the Gulf.
Yeah.
They don't come in through the Atlantic. It was probably a dusky that came in. Probably came up all the way up and around. It is not.
Get them in the Swanee in Swanee River all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, once they get past, I think the maximum you're going to get with a bull, and it would have to be an old bull, you'd probably get one at like 16 foot max. But yeah, Nano's right. Like 80% of the time, 12 to 14 foot is the standard length for a bull. Believe me, as somebody who used to have to hit the goddamn things with the oar and knock him out of the boat, well, he's just sitting there casually eating his fucking sandwich. But you ought to just hit it with the oar. Yeah, believe me, I started to learn really quick what the hell's in the boat with me.
They're not threatened. You can fish them at any time. catch them anytime. They're also known as the Zambezi shark because they like to swim up the Zambezi River. They like to grow up. They like the average is around 7.9 feet. The commonly reported, the single record exists for female species is 13.1 feet. The maximum on and that's 4 meters, and it weighed in at 694 pounds. And I'm going to put that a lot of your older records can't be actually considered factual because of 100 years of fish story.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying what I had read in a fishing article. Okay. You can only save one, the rest go into the incinerator. Gauntlet, Paperboy, Top Gun, or Rad Racer?
Save Top Gun.
It's a fucking video game.
I own all 4 of these games.
And a shitty one at that.
I own all 4 of those games. I'm sorry, gonna have to save Gauntlet. I'm a big Gauntlet and big Golden Axe fan. Those are 2 of my favorites.
I would say save Gauntlet because if people want to play Paperboy, they can get a paper route.
Yeah. To be fair, Paperboy, you can play that as an app now on a phone because of how that was really a one-trick pony of a game. It was amusing. It was funny when you were a kid playing it, hitting people with the newspaper and shit, knocking them over, like knocking the lawnmower out of the guy's hand, knocking down the milkman's shit. It's funny when you're like 8 years old and you're playing that game. But, yeah, other than that.
Gauntlet was strategy because every time you moved, the fucking monsters moved after you.
Yeah.
What was
So you can only save one movie. Excalibur, Chariots of Fire, Das Boot, and Escape from New York. I am torn between Excalibur and Escape from New York.
I'm torn between Das Boot and Excalibur.
Excalibur was horrid because the sword handling was absolute shit and the armor was all wrong. So I will consign that to the incinerator. Chariots of Fire, nah. Das Boot was kind of historically inaccurate. The submarine was a fucking World War II U.S. submarine, but they did a very poor job of dressing up like a damn U-boat. So, bleh. So therefore, Escape from New York has to be the one. And gotta love those early 3D wireframe graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'd just go with Escape from New York. I'm not playing the bias card here. Seriously, that's not even the reason I was going to go with it.
Yeah, because they turned your hometown into a fucking prison.
That's actually what I want to do to my hometown. But this is what I like. The only reason I'm picking that is because one, you had Isaac Hayes as the Duke, and you had the Duke's Cadillac. That's the only reason I'm picking that movie. The Duke's A-1-A-OK.
Remember when he was riding the glider in and it had that cheesy 1980s wireframe graphics? I gotta love that.
Yeah. The best part is that the last battle takes place on top of the Twin Towers.
Yeah. Well, we know that one will never come to reality. Okay, I got 4 TV shows, and you can only save one. Airwolf, The Highwayman, Blue Thunder, or Buck Rogers?
The Highwayman.
Wait, were they the 4?
They are obscure 1980s action film or action TV series. You might need to Google them.
I saw the Blue Thunder movie. Never seen the show.
I'd have to say it's a toss-up for me between Airwolf and Blue Thunder. It really is. Blue Thunder, that's the one with the speedboat, right?
No, Blue Thunder.
No, that's the police helicopter.
Yes, the police. It's the heavily modified Gazelle helicopter.
But that was the movie. I thought. I'm thinking of Tropic Thunder. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember the movie Blue Thunder just because the scene with the chick with the yoga.
Yeah.
Well, I was a kid when that movie came out, and I remember watching it like, holy shit. That night, it's the only other movie that Roy Scheider has under his belt that really stands out.
Gotta take you off.
Other than Jaws.
And Sequest. Oh, wait, that wasn't a movie.
Yeah, that wasn't a movie.
But you are on the lot rent, though.
That show depresses me, considering that Pretty Kid is dead.
Well, you know, I actually liked Sequest when I was a kid, and then I rewatched it and realized how fucking, oh my god, the environmental fucking Nazi it was, and political, and I was like, oh god, this disgust. I was like, thank God when Michael Ironsides took over, they turned it into a fucking war show for its third and final season.
I watched it for Jonathan Brandis and the Dolphins. That's it.
Yeah, but it was a horrible eco fucking.
It was.
You're wrong if you eat meat. Wow, meat's illegal in the future of 2017. Or was it?
Really?
What show was this?
Sequest.
Meat's illegal in Sequest. Okay.
Yes, because the cows were ruining the ozone. Dude, it was an Al Gore fucking fantasy fucking shit, dude.
Okay. Was this the show that had like a large murder plant?
No. It had a giant fucking submarine and a dolphin that could talk with, you know, special software and shit. And an extremely bright, nerdy kid that was put on this giant multi-billion-dollar submarine with a bioskin on it that looked like an extruded turd, kind of, sort of. And that was bigger. It was like bigger than an aircraft carrier. It was like a super submarine, and it could speed around all over the fucking globe. And they were like, it could go 100 knots. And I'm like, well, that still doesn't explain how it got from the Indian Ocean to fucking Hawaii in under an episode.
Well, I remember there being a show set in a sub. There was one episode where one of the crew members was eaten by a large plant.
You have to find out the name of that show. That sounds seriously cool.
I don't know. I feel like it might be Sequest.
Yeah. Because one of the episodes happened. There was a plant that got out of control in the hydroponics garden and grew out all through the ship. I mean, that was such a common fucking thing in the 1990s.
It's like the episode of fucking Star Trek with Dave the Tribbles. Trouble with Tribbles. Or
fucking the one where the thing gets out of control in Stargate SG-1 and takes over the fucking base.
Yeah.
You know, it's a trope. They've done it.
Alright, you can only save one. Child's Play. Freak Show, the first one. Return of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead?
I'm going to throw them all in the incinerator and
I'm with Mig here.
I just don't like. I'm not a big fan of horror genres. I find them to be trite. So.
Scooby. Is he muted?
I'm trying to think. It was, you said Child's Play.
Freak Show, the first one. Return of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead? Now, I will tell you, Return of the Living Dead is where they're in the morgue or the mortuary, and these army guys find these jugs, and they end up getting cracked, and this gas comes out and starts turning them into zombies, and they end up getting one zombie to talk. Day of the Dead is where they're at this underground military compound, and they kind of use some zombies for experiments, and I think only like 2 people escape on a helicopter.
Yeah, no, I've seen every single one of those zombie movies. I'd probably have to go with Creepshow, because Creepshow is actually based on EC Horror Comics, which was the Detective Comics, DC Comics. That was their horror imprint. So, as a comic book fan, I'd go with Creepshow. That's the one I'd save.
Well, I love the zombie movies, Obviously, I know about these because I watched them the fuck enough. Child's Play, it made me not want to My Buddy doll. So, you know, and that was before I had a brother. So, you know, fuck that. And I've seen every single one. Creep Show, I still have nightmares about one of the Creep Show movie snips. Not snip, but one of the little stories in it where they're in this lake on a raft and this like oil slick keeps coming over. And
the one I can't watch either.
Oh, I still have nightmares about it. Guaranteed tonight I'm going to have a fucking nightmare about it. Because anytime I think about it, I have a fucking nightmare about it.
What's so scary about it?
You're swimming in a lake. You know, mind you, these people are getting stoned. And they're on this wooden dock in the middle of a lake. And then there's like this oil slick. And, you know, one of the guys notices that this oil slick keeps getting closer. And, you know,
like the Blob. I'm looking at images now.
Kind of.
It's actually really scary what happens.
Yeah, and, you know, slowly it, like, eats everyone. There's, like, 8 people on this fucking dock, and it eats everyone. And there's this, one person, like, sticks their ear to the bottom of the dock because it disappeared. They're wondering where it went. It, like, jumps up out of the water and goes right into his ear and like kills him, and then like makes him fall off the dock and into the water. And then this one guy's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna swim it. This is the survivor." He jumps off the dock, swims to the shoreline, and is like, "Ha! I made it! I made it!" He didn't get far enough off the shoreline. It fucking sucks him in. He still had like the tips of his toes in the fucking water.
That's just fucking cheesy. Okay, let's do some other horror right here. You can only save one. Orange, yellowish green, or red. The original flavors of Gatorade.
Orange.
Orange.
I'm gonna have to go with lime green.
I was never really a big Gatorade fan, to be honest.
Yeah, but notice I never ever said the flavors. I said the colors, because Gatorade back then had no color flavors. It just had the color. Now there's too many there's too many. There's too many flavors.
And then you also have Powerade, which is an offshoot of Gatorade. Which, by the way, you know, fun fact, Gatorade was created here in Gainesville, Florida. You can only save one. Video games. Castlevania, 1942. Bubble Bobble or Elevator Action. Giggity, giggity, goo.
1942.
I think my baby brother is sitting there watching the video.
Of what?
Scooby tagged you in what happens at the end of the movie. Of course, it doesn't want to run for me. Oh, there we go.
Watching it now.
Oh, you got the whole 20-minute scene. Oh, that's what it's called, the raft. I didn't know it was 20 minutes. I would share it, but I don't want us getting a content strike.
Nah, it's all right. I just started watching it, and even with the volume off, 30 years later, I can still hear the screaming. So,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember watching it eat the damn girl.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting shivers already. All right, let's go back to the. All right, so which game would you guys say? Castlevania, Nano already said 1942, Bubble Bobble, or Elevator Action?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch the entire thing.
Why not, baby brother?
Because for years, the blob haunted me at night.
It's just an oil slick. All right, which one would you
It's an
say?
oil slick from hell.
Castlevania, Elevator Action, Bubble Bobble, or 1942?
What again?
Movie. Goobers.
Sorry, I just watched it drag the girl off the dock. That's like horrifying to see.
Isn't she the one that gets the oil in her ear?
Yeah. That's what I was watching. I was like, holy shit. And you know what it is? The one kid who's left looks so much like my nephew.
Your nephew gets eaten after making it to shore.
I'm looking at the poor boy and I'm seeing the look on his face, and that's all I'm thinking about. Like, gee, I got to call the kid, make sure he's okay.
Oh, no. What it got in her ear. It wasn't listening. She wasn't listening. She had like passed out. And he was getting ready to like mess around with her, and that's when it went into her ear. I remember now. Yeah, I used to have fucking nightmares about that shit.
And the best part is when the sun it pans and there's the sign that says no swimming.
Yep.
Now the thing that bothers me whenever I watch this, I keep thinking to myself, what state are they in that they just don't dredge the damn thing out the lake? Seriously.
I don't know, New York?
No, because if that happened out here, like, you got to understand, New York has its own flavor of rednecks. There would be people going out to that lake with, like, bundles of dynamite trying to see if they could blow this thing up.
Blow what up?
Whatever that thing is in the lake that keeps eating all the kids.
All right, Scooby, come on now. Yeah. Which game would you say? 1942, Castlevania, Elevator Action, or Bubble Bobble?
I hate Bubble Bobble. 1942 has been done to death by so many other games at this point. I'd probably say Castlevania. Only I owned all of them.
I played Castlevania. Bubble Bobble, I like to a point, but it's a pain in the fucking ass. I've never played Elevator Action, but all I can think of is Quagmire getting action in an elevator. So, and I don't do dogfight games, so Castlevania.
I don't know. To me, 1942 is just a classic side scroller.
Yeah.
But it scrolls vertically, not sideways.
Well, that's just it. There's so many side scrollers and so many vertical scrollers. That's the only reason I went with Castlevania.
Yeah, I just don't like Castlevania.
Do you like anything?
All right. Oh, God, I don't even know if I... Yeah, I would. Okay. Another set of games. Can only save one. Contra.
Contra. You don't even have to talk anymore, Contra.
I want to know what the other three are.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Rygar or Blaster Master?
Contra.
Yeah, Contra.
I'm saving Blaster Master. I couldn't stand Contra.
Loved Contra. That's if you don't know that code, that AB, up, down, then you weren't a kid from the 80s. If you don't know the Contra code, everyone knows that code.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke, but that code was also inputted into other games.
Yeah. It was in the original Battlefront 2.
All right, you can only save one movie. RoboCop, Predator, Over the Top, or Running Man?
Predator.
Predator.
Yeah, Predator.
Get to the chop. Where would we be without Get to the Chopper?
Okay, well, I like Predator. It's a little overdone. I've seen every single Predator movie, Alien, I'm done with it. RoboCop, I've seen every single one except for the remake because I don't like remakes. I'm done with it. Brightman, I was not impressed at all. So for me, it's over the top.
Well, I've never seen Over the Top, so I don't really care.
You might actually like Over the Top.
The actor that plays RoboCop, and the only ones that matter is the actual real life, complete and total liberal douchebag. Running Man, and like I said, Get to the Chopper.
Yeah,
and you get to see that fucking whiny bitch Jesse the Body Ventura die. So,
fun fact about Peter Weller, the guy who played RoboCop. He's actually got his master's in classical Greco-Roman architectural engineering.
Well, he's actually got a doctorate degree in art history. So,
yeah. He you ever see when he hosts? He's the one that hosts when they have on the History Channel. They do about like all of the engineering and the building of all the different things in Rome. I always got a kick out of it watching RoboCop. Like sit there and talk to me about art history and shit.
Yeah, but he's also, when you start talking to him in real life, or when you start listening to his politics, it's like he's like, ban all the guns. You don't need a gun. Only go shut the fuck up. You need to go now.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Scooby. You and I are going to be at odds on these.
Okay.
You can only save one video game. The remaining 3 will be permanently destroyed.
All right.
Ghosts and Goblins, Fester's Quest, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Goonies 2.
I own
every. A pain in the ass to get through.
I own every single one of them. Oh God. You can only keep one, and you got to get rid of the others, huh? Okay, we're gonna go with how far I got in the game. So, first one that we're gonna chop off the list is Ghosts and Goblins. It wasn't as enjoyable for me. Next on the list would probably be Goonies 2 because that was a frustrating game. Next would probably be Fester's Quest, only because the controls were so slow. But yeah, I'd have to keep Ninja Turtles.
Well, Goonies 2 is going out the window because you're right, it was frustrating. And the text was so fucking slow.
Yeah.
Ghosts and Goblins, dude, I couldn't even get off the fucking first stage.
That's what I'm saying.
Ninja Turtles, honestly, I never really got a chance to play it myself. My friend's brother played it all the time, and I hated it just from watching it. So I would keep Fester's Quest mostly because it was frustrating as fuck. But it's because I love the Addams Family.
Yeah, Festus, you know what it is? You got to play Ninja Turtles, and you got to try playing it on an emulator. It had very responsive controls. That's why I enjoyed it. I could not stand Festus Quest because it was so slow.
Fuck, on this one, I'm torn between 3 movies. Okay. You can only save one. Crocodile Dundee, Little Shop of Horrors, the one with Rick Moranis. Critters, or Three Amigos.
Oh, that's so unfair.
I know, right? You're torn between 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Crocodile Dundee or Three Amigos. What were the other 2?
Little Shop of Horrors, the Rick Moranis version, which is honestly the best one. And Critters. Although in the original Little Shop of Horrors, Jack Nicholson is in it. He plays the guy that goes and sees the dentist. And
he plays the same role as Bill Murray.
Yes, and he gets all of his teeth pulled. He was a sadist. He enjoyed pain.
Yeah. To be honest, because 2 of them are musicals, that makes it even harder. Oh God.
I'm already gonna say Three Amigos can go into the fucking incinerator.
Wait, which one's the other musical?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
And what was the other musical?
Three Amigos.
See, I hate musicals, so you've eliminated 2 choices.
I never noticed that Three Amigos was a musical.
Yeah, it's a musical. It's just it's not a normal musical. It's a movie that has songs in it. They actually do musical numbers. It's not that they don't break into song like a regular musical.
Like in Little Shop of Horrors, they break into song.
Yeah, that's a musical.
Well, it's a musical on a technicality.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be their song and dance actors. There's one scene in the movie. Nano, you've never seen the Three Amigos?
Yeah, I've seen the Three Amigos, and I fucking didn't think it was that great.
The bar scene where the German goes in, the pilot, and he's telling them, you know, my friends are coming here. They're going to be oddly dressed. They'll kill everyone in the bar if you insult them. Don't fuck with them. And then they walk into the bar, and because of how loud their outfits are, they think that they're the Germans' friends, and so they get the entire bar full of banditos to participate in that musical rendition of My Little Buttercup. Seriously,
that was a funny part. However, I don't really like Chevy Chase. I don't really like what's his name, Martin Short, and Steve, what's his face, is all right, but I'm not a fan of them either.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just you got to understand my sense of humor. I'm gonna send it to Kelt so he can see it.
Right, but which one would you save, Steve?
If I was gonna save any of them, I'd probably go with Critters because I seen that in the theaters when I was a kid. It was one of the first B horror movies I ever seen in a theater. It's got memories, and only because I can't choose with the other one, so it's a cop out.
All right, Nana, which of the Critters or Dundee would you choose?
I choose Dundee.
Yeah, I go with Dundee.
Yeah, I'm torn between Little Shop of Horrors, Critters, and Crocodile Dundee. Although I could tell you the entire storyline of Little Shop of Horrors because I've seen every single version that there is. Critters, I've seen it and its sequels. And I've seen all 3 Crocodile Dundee movies. But you can't get past, that's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah, you can't get past that, so I'm saving Dundee.
I saw that in a different movie.
Probably after Dundee.
Oh, you're talking about Dundee? Yeah, I think it came from Dundee. Oh,
yeah, Crocodile Dundee is the first one to have ever done that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Now, another movie that came along told the same thing, but it was after Crocodile Dundee. Okay, you can only save one movie. Scarface, The Outsiders, Superman 3, or The Big Chill.
Get rid of them all.
Superman 3 gave me fucking nightmares.
How did it give you nightmares?
The end of the movie, the bad guy and his sister are trying to run away, and they built a supercomputer, and the supercomputer sucks her in and turns her into a cyborg, and she's screaming through the whole process. It scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. The same thing with
Superman 3 it is then.
Yeah, like RoboCop.
Yeah.
That movie, like, there's one scene in the original RoboCop where the guy in the van drives into a container full of toxic waste.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, did that give me nightmares. Like, that's the thing. When anything that's on the screen where it shows somebody like body horror where they're screaming in agony, that fucks my head up bad. I don't like that. You know? You can have monsters all day, but the minute somebody's like in a bloody pile screaming and got smoke and shit coming off of them, yeah, that disturbs me.
I'm sorry. I find those scenes in movies fucking hilarious. At least as an adult, I do.
Well, as a kid, it always scared the fuck out of me. You know, the monsters never bothered me. But when somebody's getting eaten, or they're melting, or they're on fire, yeah. You know, when they're running after you, screaming "Help me" as they're like getting engulfed in flames. Yeah, that's it. That's the shit that bothers me. You know, people turning into werewolves. No, that doesn't. That's not anything that I'm concerned with. But somebody getting dipped in acid and screaming in pain. Yeah, that can actually happen. That's why it scares me. You know.
Personally, I would say The Outsiders. I've read the book. I had to in high school, and then in middle school as well. And then recently, a friend loaned me the book, which I still have to read it again. But I never liked the third Superman movie. I was never interested in Scarface, and I don't think I've ever seen The Big Chill. So I would say The Outsiders.
The Big Chill is one of those movies that when you watch it, after you're done watching it, you're like, you turn to the older people in the room who made you watch it with them, and like, is this what your generation deals with? That's basically what you get at, what you walk away with from The Big Chill. Like, okay, people who are now pushing 60 are boring. It's basically what The Big Chill, what you get with. Let me think. What were the other ones? It was The Big Chill.
The Outsiders and Scarface.
Scarface. Scarface bothered me because that's Hollywood with their. It's amazing. Yeah, we need to have these guys play Cubans. I know. Let's just hire a bunch of Italians, and that's really what bothered me with Scarface. I already said my problem with The Big Chill, and the other one that you said there was a problem I had with that. I can't remember though.
Superman 3.
No, Superman 3 is the only one I like on that list.
Oh, Outsiders. What did you have a problem with Outsiders?
Fuck Pony Boy. fuck Pony Boy. Fuck Soda Pop. Fuck Cherry. Fuck Dallas. Fuck all of them. Do you know how many times my wife makes me watch?
Yes, I do want to fuck all of them. What's your point?
My wife makes me watch it constantly. I had to read that fucking book in high school, and not only did I have to read that book, the fucking teacher turns around and says, "I hope you all like The Outsiders. Now we're gonna read Tex." And I'm like, what is Tex? Oh, Tex is from the same author that wrote The Outsiders. The whole fucking book is about a kid who gets stoned and steals accidentally pockets a fishing reel when he's counting his money out at the fucking store. That's what that book is about.
You can only save one video game.
There you go.
Mario 2, Double Dragon, Rampage, or Burger Time?
Wow, you actually named a game I've never played. I've never played Burger Time.
Okay, Burger Time, you're a chef, and you have to make these burgers.
Okay, I played it. I just haven't played it in over 30 years. That's all you had to say. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I played that game. Game to save. Game to save. Super Mario 2 was one of the choices. Burger Time was one of the choices.
Rampage and Double Dragon.
Oh, man. Let me think. Nano, I'm going to defer to you on this one. We're the same age. Which one?
I didn't really like any of them, but I'd just say Mario. Because the feminists have a problem with Mario because it's misogynistic.
Yeah.
Actually, Super Mario 2 is the only one, other than more recent games, that had the princess in it.
Yeah.
And I liked playing it because she could fly. Well, technically, she floated for a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I'll be honest, what I liked about Super Mario 2, and this is just me, that kick-ass soundtrack on that hurdy-gurdy piano.
Yeah.
That really was cool. I would be sitting there playing the game, and my father used to come in. Yes, Christ, I feel like I'm at Uncle Gasparo's house with his hurdy-gurdy. I look at him, I go, wow.
If I could save a second game, it would be Burger Time. Burger Time, and only because my mom loved Burger Time, and I don't know why. But she loved it. Loved it so much that when Rhino Games was still around, when they first came out, that's where we rented it from. That eventually we rented it so much that they were like, here, keep it.
You know, if I could save two, I'd probably save Double Dragon just because that was the first fighting game you could actually play at home on a home console.
Yeah.
I used to love that game it's so fucked up. That and oh god, what was the other game it took place? It was supposed to be in like Chicago or New York. Streets of Rage. Double Dragon and Streets of Rage. I remember when I was a kid that those video games, my neighborhood looked like those video games. That's the only reason I liked those games when I was a kid.
There's one game that came out, I do believe it was in the 90s. If you know this Twitter page proves me wrong, then I'm wrong. Was my mom loved this game too? That Rhino was like, "Here, keep it." It was called Narc. Oh my god, she loved fucking playing that game.
Was that the one where at one point you have to shoot like it's a giant skull on a spine?
I think so.
You know why I remember that game? Because it was in the Ninja Turtles movie. And you know what game in that same
It was in Secret of Ooze. Because they had that whole place where they could play video games and shit.
That's the first one. The Secret of the Ooze was different. The first one was where they go. It's on Lairdman Island, which there is no Lairdman Island. That's Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. They just made that up for the movie.
Okay.
But yeah. Come on, they got a movie about the superheroes I love. I think I turned 10 the day that movie came out, and yeah, it takes place in my hometown. Come on, I got that movie memorized.
Dude, I fucking love Ninja Turtles, and I don't like the most recent Ninja Turtles cartoons and fucking movies they put out. They're like, oh, it's live action. I'm like, no, it's CG with humans playing the human characters. Like, no, what? Live action was what was made in the fucking 90s.
I liked the second one just because of the scene where they have them where they confront Rocksteady and Bebop for the first time on the plane. I just thought that was hysterical. You know, I mean, I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, and I talked to a few of my friends, you know, like they all seen the movie. And it's funny because, you know, I go over the house and like, I told you this before, they're, you know, all bikers and like tough guys and shit. So I'm like, yo, how was the movie? And like, it's the movie you wanted when you were 10. I go, what do you mean? I saw the original one. They're like, yeah, and you were disappointed, right? I go, yeah. They're like, this is that movie that you should have seen like 20 years ago. This is that. I go, okay. And I went and saw it. I'm like, holy shit, he wasn't kidding. It literally is the movie I wanted when I was 10. Well, it's kind of badass. I know you liked it where they had the Jim Henson costumes and they did the actual ninjutsu shit.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right. You can only save one. Dark Crystal or Never Ending Story? Or The Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Dark Crystal.
Never Ending Story. I like Falcor.
What's the fourth?
They're in the fourth. I figured that those three choices would be too hard for most people.
Nope, I love Labyrinth.
You know they're making a sequel to Dark Crystal?
They're also supposed to make a sequel to The Labyrinth.
Oh. Kind of hard when David Bowie's dead.
They've already decided that they're going to CG his ass in there.
Oh, God. Technology sometimes.
They're going to Tarkin it.
Well, they're taking what images they have from the first Labyrinth movie, and they're going to CG him in.
Yeah, but how are you going to convert that from fucking shit quality to fucking Ultra 8K?
I have no clue. Okay, you can only save one. Revenge of the Nerds. Spaceballs. Valley Girl or The Naked Gun.
None of them. I'm going to save Ice Pirates instead.
I agree with you on that one, but of these ones, I'd save Spaceballs. I do own Ice Pirates. Well, I own the VHS. I want the DVD. I wore out the VHS.
I haven't seen either
the
one.
Space Herpy. You gotta love the Space Herpy.
Yeah, Space Herpes.
Choices were what? Ice Pirates and what else?
No, Ice Pirates wasn't one of the choices.
Oh, are you on the 80s thing too? Because they just had an option of 3 movies, or of 4 movies. And Nano, it goes Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, Neverending Story, or Willow.
Oh, I forgot about Willow. I wasn't on that. I was just like thinking of iconic 80s fantasy movies that people have an unnatural attachment to.
Willow and what?
Neverending Story, Dark Crystal, or Labyrinth.
I'd take Willow.
Willow.
I heard they're making a sequel to that one too.
They really shouldn't. They need to leave Willow alone.
They need to stop making sequels. They need to stop making reboots.
Well, Dark Crystal, I could see one coming. Actually, it's supposed to be a prequel, not a sequel. It's a prequel. It's explaining how everything came to be.
Okay, that's
Dark Crystal. Labyrinth is supposed to be about Toby the boy. Apparently, the plot that a fan gave that they think is how it's going to go is that Toby actually spent enough time with the Goblin King to gain Goblin King powers. And Neverending Story, well, evidently the movie ends, so it's an ending story. And Willow, while I love Warwick Davis, he is fucking amazing. That was pretty much other than Island of Dr. Moreau, the only movie I disliked Val Kilmer in. So again, I'd still be saving Labyrinth.
You ever watch the documentary about what happened with the Island of Dr. Moreau?
No.
Holy shit, that was a debacle.
Okay, for these games, I would throw all of them into the incinerator. You can only save one: E.T., Dig Dug, Centipede, or Joust.
Somebody beat you to it. There's actually a landfill in New Mexico that is made up of nothing but E.T. the video game.
Yeah.
I fucking hated E.T.
I have a copy still. I think I still got the original box. That thing's probably worth a lot of money.
I don't know.
I shouldn't say it on the air. I'm probably marked for death now because I have one of the last copies of E.T. the game.
No. They're terribly bad.
And, while Centipede is the only one that I can think of that is redeemable out of all of these, I still hated it, so they can all go into the fucking incinerator.
Yeah. Centipede is cool if you're actually playing on the bar style game where they have like the ball controller, the control. Yeah. Then it's cool. Otherwise, I hated that game.
Okay, and since I saw the movie, I'm torn. You can only save one. You have The Untouchables, Full Metal Jacket, Big Trouble Little China, and St. Elmo's Fire.
That's so unfair.
And I am torn between Full Metal Jacket and Big Trouble Little China. The other two can go.
Me too.
Same here.
And I've seen The Untouchables. It's all right, but Full Metal Jacket, and if I hadn't seen Full Metal Jacket, I'd just right off the bat say Little Trouble. Or Big Trouble Little China.
I seen The Untouchables in the drive-in theater. It was the same night we didn't leave. We were bastards about it. We stayed and we saw Dragnet also. Yeah. Wow. Memories. Yeah, The Untouchables was good, but Full Metal Jacket is Full Metal Jacket. And what was the other one you said you were going to keep? Because I said the same thing.
Big Trouble Little China.
That's it. Hell yeah. John Carpenter at his finest.
So I think I would actually keep Big Trouble Little China only because Full Metal Jacket's a big mind fuck. even for me.
I don't know. I think I go with Full Metal Jacket because I mean I love Gunny.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket, just because I was getting groomed to go into the Marine Corps, and I grew up getting spoke to like that in my entire life. So I mean, that didn't really bother me, that movie.
Oh, and you guys will laugh at this. January 24th, 1984 was the Wendy's ad, "Where's the beef?"
Wow. Am I really that old?
Yes. Am I really that old? Because I remember that fucking commercial.
What commercial?
There were these three old ladies, and they're looking at this hamburger that's, pretty much a McDonald's hamburger. And they're looking at a Burger King burger. And then they see a Wendy's burger. And each one is shown a different burger, or they're all shown at first the McDonald's burger, where it's got this tiny little thin patty. And this one old woman gets on the phone and goes, and they're all saying it at different times, "Where's the beef?"
Speaking of McDonald's, have you heard what happened to them apparently recently?
What?
They lost the rights to the Big Mac in the EU.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Do you know what the full story is?
Yeah, the other person's burger was named like something Mac or Mac something,
Super Mac?
and
It's the name of the restaurant they sued.
yeah.
But it's like they have 100 stores in Ireland since 1978, and McDonald's decided that this small restaurant chain that hasn't even made it out of Ireland needed to be taught a lesson, and they sued them on the basis that Super Max infringes on the Big Mac brand name.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's what the EU told them. They didn't have a case, and they lost the right to Big Mac. So now Burger King in the EU has like a sign like on the menu under not Big Macs. And see, they have like a Big Mac, but actually big. Burger Big Mac, the Burger Big Mac list it was. Big Mac-ish, but flame grilled, of course. Anything but a Big Mac. And kind of like a Big Mac, but juicier and tastier. And
Yeah.
these are the names of the foods that Burger King has. Renamed.
Well, to be fair, Burger King does taste like shoe leather, so they're gonna have to do anything they can to get their price up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're not
like
actually
Wendy's.
flame broiled either. They're like pre-cooked and frozen. They used to be, but they aren't anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can taste the difference.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go out for a burger anyway, fuck it, I'm going to Wendy's.
Yeah, but like this renaming is something I expect from Wendy's.
Yeah.
Okay. One game can you save? Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Tetris, Mega Man, and Ice Climber.
Well, if Six was
Mega
here,
Man.
yeah, I was gonna say if Six was here, he'd go with Mega Man. I'd have to go with Punch Out, 1988. I spent the entire summer playing that game.
Well, Punch-Out came out in '87. I would have to go with Tetris because I could play that fucking game all day.
Yeah. That and that, oh god, I can remember when the club scene, when they took that song and they remixed it. See everybody out on the dance floor with their glow sticks dancing to Tetris.
All right, you can only save one movie. Can't Buy Me Love, Limousine to Drive, Loverboy, and Mannequin.
I think the only one I've seen of those is Mannequin.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's the one I'll save.
It's called License to Drive. I misread.
With Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, License to Drive, definitely. Limousine to Drive, I was like, I ain't never heard of that one.
License to Drive was good, but Mannequin had Hollywood in it.
I like Mannequin and Mannequin 2. So yeah. I would have Mannequin.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Mannequin also. I remember there was this gay kid we went to school with, and everyone used to call him Hollywood. It was really fucked up. Everyone will walk up to him snapping their fingers. I'm like, yo, guys, leave him alone. That's foul.
Okay. Now, 3 of these are based off of the arcade versions that you could play at home. Donkey Kong 3, Popeye, Super Mario Brothers, which is the one that usually came with your Nintendo, and the original Mario, which is the arcade version.
I own all of them.
You can only say one, sweetie.
Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, or Popeye. You know, the sad thing is Donkey Kong and Popeye have the same exact format. Mario is a one-screen. They're all. That's the thing. The only one I would save is Super Mario, simply because it's a side scroller. The rest of them are all single stage, single screen. You know, every time it's the same exact stage, but each time it'll be different. There'll be like a couple more traps, a couple more bosses, but it's the same exact screen over and over and over. So yeah, I'll go with Super Mario. That's the one I'll save.
Which of these movies would you save? I'm torn between 2, but I already know which one I would actually save. Evil Dead, Scanners, The Entity, or Poltergeist?
Scanners.
Neither.
Or Screamers. No, wait, that's not one of the choices.
No, it's Scanners, not Screamers.
Oh no, I was talking about the sword. The things that traveled under the dirt and killed people.
Yeah, those are Screamers.
The Entity, only because I saw that movie. That was part of John Carpenter's trilogy, along with In the Mouth of Madness, and I think there was one other movie that was part of his trilogy. I don't think it was The Thing. Maybe it was The Thing. I'm not sure. But it was part of John Carpenter's trilogy. It's the least known of those movies, and we decided we were going to try to do a movie marathon, me and a few of my friends when we were teenagers, and see if we could, how many movies we could sit through in one clip back to back. I think we made it to 9 movies, and the 9th one was The Entity, and we were so fucking destroyed that by the time that one came on, I think it was, one of the actors came on the screen, and we were laughing so hard at his name. I mean, we had tears in our eyes. We were overtired from just sitting through 9 movies nonstop. That's the only reason I'd save The Entity.
I would Evil Dead. I love Poltergeist. If I could save 2, Poltergeist would be the second, but Evil Dead as a kid freaked me the fuck out. I didn't want to go camping.
Yeah. That noise that those damn deadites make when they're coming through the woods. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like, that was actually the best part of the whole movie, is how the camera is chasing you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what the hell is chasing them, but they're all freaking out and running as fast as they can.
All right, I already know which of these movies fucking Nana would save. You can only save 1: Aliens, Blade Runner, Raging Bull, or Platoon.
Blade Runner.
Oh, wow. You would actually say Blade Runner?
Yeah.
What were the options again?
Raging Bull, Platoon, Aliens, or Blade Runner?
Alien.
Yeah, Aliens. I mean, those are all some of my favorite movies. Raging Bull was great. You throw a punch like you take it up the ass. No, I'd have to go with Aliens. So I mean,
I didn't see Blade Runner until I think like a year ago, and I was watching it so I could watch the sequel, which I never watched the sequel. But but I wasn't impressed with it, even though it was a remastered version. I would go with Aliens.
Yeah, it was just a great movie all around.
Oh my god. You know how you look back at pictures of playgrounds and stuff and you're like, how the fuck did we survive that?
Yeah.
I want to do a quick screen share and show you guys fucking McDonald's playground.
This ought to be horrifying.
If my computer will let me do this, it's going to act up. There we go. Present me, baby brother.
Huh? Oh, present?
Yeah, just click on my avatar.
Okay.
You have to left click it so it says present.
Oh.
Yep. How the fuck did we survive these things?
You know, they finally got rid of those burger ridey things. They had them with the spring on it. Because I don't know if you remember, when you sit on those things, you can go all the way down to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times did you see a kid get flung like a catapult off of those?
Never.
Oh, I laughed my ass off as a kid.
Yeah.
But fucking Grimace, dude.
What is that supposed to be?
It's a merry-go-round.
Yeah, they started taking those out around here because these kids kept getting hurt.
And what about the burger one? What's that?
You climb up into that thing.
Yeah.
That's so you don't fall out. It's basically you can climb up and you can look out at people, but you can still, you know, like stick your hands out and shit so you could get stuck in it.
But no, I couldn't be in Grimace. No, it would fucking scare me.
Do you know it's fucked up when they updated the Playland by me because they wanted to put the shit in that won't kill the kids? They were taking all this stuff out, and people in the neighborhood actually went and like ripped off all the stuff as they were removing it because they wanted to keep it.
Oh my god, I forgot about Rainbow Bright cereal.
Wow, do you remember when they used to have those cereal kits that they would send you with the dish and the cup?
Yes.
Mickey Mousecapade, I remember that game.
See, this Rainbow Bright one has one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was asking if you remembered it.
I had the bowl and the cup when I was a kid. I even had the nightgown.
That's so cool.
My grandmother bought, because all you had to do was fill this out and send in so many proofs of purchase.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to actually send in money like they make you do now. And I would eat the shit out of that stuff. And my grandmother would pour it into Tupperware containers so she could go ahead and get the proofs of purchase off.
Yeah.
And she bought however many boxes were necessary. Had all these Tupperware containers filled with this Rainbow Bright cereal. So my mom had some, she had some, my aunt had some. So I always had Rainbow Bright cereal everywhere I went. And she was actually able to get 3 sets of the cereal bowl and the cup and 1 nightgown.
That's really cool.
So I had a cereal bowl and cup at my aunt's. I had a cereal bowl and cup at home, and I had a cereal bowl and cup at my grandmother's.
Cool.
And I had a Rainbow Bright nightgown. So yeah. Okay.
I had all those games.
Yeah, I played Mickey Mousecapade. I already know which one I'm saving. You can only save one. Kung Fu, Excite Bike, RBI Baseball, or Mickey Mousecapade. Mine's Mickey Mousecapade because I actually beat that fucking game.
Mine's Excite Bike because Mickey Mousecapade can suck on the fattest of dicks. I hated that game.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really watch any of them.
Kung Fu is alright.
Okay, yeah. One movie.
Roger Rabbit.
Pretty in Pink, Dirty Dancing, Big, or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Hell yeah.
I don't know the other three.
You guys just are wanting to save it because of fucking Jessica.
I was actually about to say, you know what it was? Not even just because of the way they drew her, but because they had Kathleen Turner do the voice.
No, I wanted to save it because of the damn bullets.
That I like the cab too. You know, this is me and my bias.
Well, they were styling it after New York Cabbie.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like when the guy comes in at the end of the movie, Sister Mary Frances, what the hell happened in here?
Okay, see, I am torn between Big and Roger Rabbit. Pretty in Pink, Molly Ringwald, and this guy here are way too over fucking played. Dirty Dancing, again, you know, so many people use the phrase, you know, don't put so-and-so in a corner. Tom Hanks in Big was fucking spectacular. The only movie that comes close to that one is the Robin Williams movie where he's the kid that has that growth disease.
Jack,
thank you. But I do like Roger Rabbit, so I can't decide. I would have to, you know, sneak one of these out in my panties or something. Mr. T cereal.
Oh my god, do you remember that?
Oh, earlier there was E.T. cereal, you know, the cereal that looked like the little penises?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they look like little penises.
So it was a box of dicks.
Mm-hmm. A box of dicks with a bag of dicks inside.
Yeah, they had a lot of what were they thinking moments.
Box of a bag of dicks.
Yeah, the 80s was known for a lot of what the fuck shit.
Oh god, all of these can die for all
what men were like in the 80s.
You know what? Out of all these games, the one that I would save, and it's for the dumbest reason, is Double Dribble.
Metroid.
Double Dribble in the beginning of the game, when the game starts, it's the only sports game I remember from the 80s that it actually had a full rendition of the national anthem with a raising of the flag. How the fuck did I remember that?
I'm throwing all these in the incinerator.
You're in love with the flag, that's why.
Yeah.
You fucking wear it on your face.
Alright, you can only save one. Porky's, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Bachelor Party, and Hamburger.
Never seen either.
What were they again?
Porky's,
they're on the screen.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Bachelor Party, or Hamburger.
That's a toss-up.
That really is.
Because the first time I think I saw tits in a movie was Fast Times at Ridgemont High, so there's that nostalgia.
Porky's, because it's all the Florida, man.
Yeah. Bachelor Party, because it's just so many young actors in that. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I would only go with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because I'm a stoner. I fucking like that shit. Porky's, I've seen all the Porky movies. I was not impressed, even as a kid, which is when I saw them.
All right. Well, since we're doing 80s, you can only save one. The 1980s Chevy Citation. The Pontiac Fiero, the Dodge Daytona from the 1980s, and another crappy car, and the and the Volkswagen Fox.
All right, I'm Googling these so I know what they look like. Give me a second.
I was thinking of the crappiest fucking cars I could think of from the 1980s, or the Ford Tempo.
It really is a tough one.
I mean, you really just want to flush them all from collective societal memory.
Okay, the Volkswagen Fox can be fucking firebombed.
Yeah, from the 1980s? God, that thing
1988 is what I looked at. You said Ford Tempo?
Yeah. I didn't choose nice-looking cars, by the way. I chose... I chose horrible cars.
Ford Tempo looks like it's an A to B car, so maybe. What was the other two?
Chevy Citation?
Spell citation for it.
Like you get a moving violation? Citation.
Got it. And it's from the 1980s. Firebomb.
And the Pontiac Fiero.
I'd stick with the Fiero. It's the least ugly.
Yeah, I'll go with the Fiero.
But it's the most likely to kill you in a wreck.
I'm okay with that. Check it out. Alf at Burger King when Burger King still gave out toys.
Wait, Burger King doesn't give out toys anymore?
Nope. McDonald's.
Oh, no. I think I'd probably stick with I'd keep the Chevy Citation. Just because I had one back in the day.
Oh, speaking of Transformers, have you seen Bumblebee yet, Scooby?
No, I haven't seen it. We didn't get the chance.
See, I hated this fucking bubble set. I had it. I hated it because I thought the bubbles would come out shaped like Mario. I was a kid.
I say nothing.
You know, I heard of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bubble bath that actually smelled like sewage.
Yeah. I
seems like a good idea.
I begged my family for this. I never got the Fisher Price Zoo, but I got some of the animals. Okay, you can only save one. Short Circuit, Beetlejuice, Return to Oz, or Lost Boys. God, I'm born on all four.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. It's really hard to make that choice, but just because Beetlejuice was in there made it easier.
Okay, well, see, Return to Oz was okay. The book was better. Short Circuit, I'm torn between, these three right now because Short Circuit, how can you not love Johnny Five?
Oh, Short Circuit. Yeah, Beetlejuice.
I didn't know Short Circuit was on the list. I have to go with Short Circuit only because I actually have a friend. I have a friend in that movie. A guy I'm friends with he has a scene in that movie. So I have to go with Short Circuit.
Beetlejuice was really good, but so was Lost Boys.
No, those are all good movies, but like I said, I got a dog in this race. I got to actually go.
I'm killing whoever's tossing the movies into the incinerator, and I'm saving the movies.
All right.
Save up. You only save one. Caddyshack, Risky Business, Footloose, or The Karate Kid. Sorry, Karate Kid. I don't like any of the others.
Caddyshack.
Karate Kid.
Ralph Macchio actually grew up 3 blocks away from me, so Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, because it proves that one candy bar can cause you to empty a fucking swimming pool.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever want to just come by,
As of January 17th, Betty White is 97.
God bless her. What was Bill Murray's name in that movie?
Shoot. Bill Murray and Caddyshack. I'm gonna have to Google that shit.
I have no clue, but I do know that he kept trying to like dynamite the fucking groundhog.
The gopher. No, because the Scottish guy goes, I want you to kill all the gophers. Oh, I can't do that. If I kill all the gophers, they're gonna put me in jail. Oh, not the gophers, the gophers. Oh,
I think I actually commented on this one. You can
Carl
only say
Spackler.
one.
That's it. Thank you.
You can only say one. Airplane, Beverly Hills Cop, Weird Science, or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I hate Airplane. Weird Science was definitely weird, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is only funny for so long.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go with Beverly Hills Cop.
I haven't seen either one, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I'd probably want to say Airplane because the entire time the airplane's flying, it's a jet and you hear propeller noises.
Yeah.
That might be part of the joke.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the whole movie is a spoof. Like the main character throughout the whole movie, he keeps saying how he's got a drinking problem, and every time he tries to drink from a glass, he throws the liquid in his face. Like he can't take a drink out of a glass. That's his drinking problem.
and the guy that's in there, I picked a hell of a day to quit drinking. And he drinks. I picked a hell of a day to quit snorting glue, and he snorts some glue. I picked a hell of a day to fucking quit doing methamphetamines.
Gremlins cereal, where you eating little tiny teddy bears.
And they go bad if you put water on them.
You know what was good in that movie? I was just thinking about it. Robert Stack, the one scene where he takes off his sunglasses and there's another pair of sunglasses on right underneath. Oh, man. I gotta go watch that movie now.
Kids just want to have fun. Saturdays, the Berenstein Bears, Wuzzles, Johnny Quest, and all new Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling.
The Hulk Hogan cartoon I remember very well. I saw all of those shows. I fucking hate Johnny Quest. My brother used to watch Johnny Quest constantly. I used to say to I wanted to nail fucking Haji's turban to his head. That's how much I hated that cartoon. Let me think. The Berenstein Bears.
Hang him by his turban.
Right? The Berenstein Bears, if it wasn't an episode that had Big Paw in it, I wasn't interested. What was the other options you had?
Dungeon. Well, no, this is just an advertisement.
Oh.
The Wuzzles.
The Wuzzles. I like the Wuzzles. That was a cool cartoon.
Dungeons and Dragons, CBS Story Break, and Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
CBS Story Break with Captain O.G. Reedmore, the cat. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons because it had Dungeon Master. Hell yeah.
All right, you can only save one. The Shining, The Thing, The Fly, The Fog.
I don't know.
The Thing.
The Thing.
Maybe The Fly.
Okay, The Shining.
Oh no, Irving's not
I don't
in
mind going into the incinerator. They've made several reboots of it, and I've heard enough of "Here's Johnny."
Yeah.
Maybe The Fog, because it did have the mother of the Scream Queen of the time in it. Jamie Lee Curtis, her mom was in that movie. And I did not like the reboot.
The Thing was a classic.
Oh, yeah, I love The Thing. But then there's The Fly. I recently watched The Fly, and it creeped me out again.
Yeah.
When his face comes off, I was like, oh!
That's only because you have a thing for Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
I think when she gives birth to the maggot is probably the part that sealed the deal for me with that movie.
That's in The Fly, too.
No, it's in the first Fly. She gives birth to the maggot.
I thought it was in Fly 2.
No, in the Fly 2, she gives birth to a maggot, but then the thing molts and it's a kid.
Oh.
No, you actually see this gigantic maggot wriggling into Doctor's hands when she gives birth in the first movie.
Yeah, I remember that, but I thought it was the first one or the second one. So
no, the second one, she gives birth to the maggot. She dies giving birth to it, but then the maggot, like, inside the maggot is a baby boy.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I have to go with The Fog because I've seen The Thing a lot recently.
Yeah, The Fly 2 I did not like because of the dog. What they did to the poor dog.
What they did to the dog?
They put the dog through a fucking transporter, and the thing came out all fucked up and mangled, so they kept the thing alive for, like, years. Like, testing it and shit.
Yeah, it was Inside Out.
Yeah. It was like the same thing with the... What movie was it? Dreamcatcher, where the alien is...
Cabbage Patch Kids movie, or cereal.
The movie Dreamcatcher, where the alien is using a German Shepherd as like a host, and the German Shepherd's in agony and it's whining. I did not like that.
Are you sure you're not describing The Thing?
No, The Thing was with huskies. I didn't like that either. I like dogs.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Hey, Scooby, women of the time.
Say what?
Women of the time, women of the 80s.
Oh, wow. Wow, I can actually remember that ad.
For LA Gear.
Yeah. Sad is that they're probably all ancient as hell now.
Probably all look like leather, too.
Yeah.
Okay, you can only say one. Adventures in Babysitting. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Say Anything. And The Breakfast Club. Honestly, I'm sick of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm not a fan of Say Anything.
I would say Bueller because it does not have Molly Ringwald in it.
Well, neither does Adventures
Bueller.
Yeah,
And I like Adventures in Babysitting, so that's the one I would be saving.
My wife watches that movie every fucking time it's on. And oh, well, the little girl likes Thor. I don't give a fuck that the little girl likes Thor. I'm not sitting through 2 hours of John fucking Landis' shit for this. I'm going to go with Nano. I'm going to go with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, specifically because it has that Ferrari in it.
Yeah.
That's the only...
Any other time, I'd probably be going for Breakfast Club, but I could probably quote the movie word for word if I were sitting here watching it.
We all can quote the movie word for word.
Oh my god, do you remember this thing?
Oh, yeah. I think everyone
that
remembers this thing.
This thing and Teddy Ruxpin. I fucking hated those things.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day. I was all depressed because my cousin Teddy Ruxpin, my aunt never forgave me for what I did to that thing. It was right after Child's Play came out, so I fucked its face up.
Okay. Save one. Lethal Weapon, The Terminator, Top Gun, or Die Hard. I already know my brother's
God
going to say
damn
Top
it.
Gun.
Finally, you picked me where I not only seen all four, but like all four.
Again, I am killing the person that's putting them in the incinerator. Well, actually, no. You can chuck out the first Terminator. I was not impressed with that one. And I'll throw out Top Gun because I didn't like that. I didn't like Tom Cruise in it.
I'll go with Top Gun because I love a good dogfight.
So I'll save Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and stab the person tossing them into the incinerator in the face.
I'll save the Terminator. Only because it invented a whole new genre. The rest are all just action movies.
What was the new genre?
Cyborg sci-fi. That's when you had all these people. That was the first movie you started to see where there was a lot of cyborgs, and then you got a lot more of them in the 80s.
Masters of the Universe, The Power of He-Man video game.
Wow.
I would have saved Die Hard just because fucking Top Gun had too much bullshit in it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I had that thing.
I would have killed for that thing. But the haircut on those children is fucking creepy. It reminds me of
the
Village.
80s?
No,
Yeah,
The Village.
The two kids look like the fucking the hut. Look at their hair. It looks like 3 huts instead of 1.
No, it reminds me of Children of the Damned.
Yeah.
It's just chili bowl haircuts.
I had one in the 80s. Very early.
I had
80s.
these. I had all of them.
I still have a launch pad somewhere around here. Oh, wow.
Well, look, it's the last time Tonka actually wrestled.
Okay, you can only say one movie. E.T., Gremlins, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Goonies.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Gizmo Mogwai. Yeah, I'd have to go with Raiders.
Goonies.
Fuck the Goonies.
I love Raiders, but I'd have to say Goonies. I had all of them too.
I think everyone had all of them.
Okay, God, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, or Batman?
Star Wars.
Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters easily, all day.
I'm torn between Ghostbusters and Batman.
Well, it's not, again, it's my bias.
Yeah, I know.
Ghostbusters, it's got it built in. It's not fair. That's not fair to me, actually.
Well, see, for me, you know, Ghostbusters, because, you know, fucking Egon, dude, even as a kid, he was hot to me. But then there's Jack Nicholson as the Joker, because he's my third favorite Joker, even though he was the first live-action Joker.
No, there was Cesar Romero.
No, I'm talking about movie-wise.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say that when you mentioned Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
No, movie-wise, he was the first live-action Joker. I wasn't a fan of Cesar Romero, although he did have the right look of the Joker. So,
I just liked him because he was a fellow Paisan.
I'd have to go with Batman because it's also where I fell in love with Michael Keaton, and therefore I liked him in Beetlejuice.
I tell you what, we can do it like this. We got to flip a coin. It's either Ghostbusters or Batman, and we're going either off of Sigourney Weaver or Kim Basinger's legs. So there you go.
No, you save Ghostbusters, I save Batman, and the other two are saving Empire Strikes Back. Yes, they have a trivia night. I haven't figured out what day it
goes
is.
Back to the furnace.
Oh God, I hated Hogan's Alley.
I prefer Hogan's Heroes.
I know nothing.
I think it was I Know
I
Nothing.
love this movie. Stand By Me. I fucking love it.
There's your thing.
Ruxpin.
There it is. That
Dude,
fucking thing.
You put fucking I found a Teddy Ruxpin at a yard sale one time, and I've always wanted one. And it was only like $1. Someone was selling it for a fucking $1, and it was in good condition. So you know, my mom bought it for me. I stuck in an Alice Cooper audio cassette. That shit was fucking creepy.
Yeah, isn't it?
Fucking hearing, you know, Alice Cooper come out of Teddy Ruxpin's mouth.
Yeah. I remember what Master of Puppets. I remember the last time I actually used my Teddy Ruxpin, I was listening to Master of Puppets on it.
And the way his eyes move while they're singing, oh, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah. Not like watching Teddy sing some Hetfield. Master!
Okay,
Master!
What is the funniest sitcom from the 80s?
Oh, that's easy.
The Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Married with Children, Perfect Strangers, or Mama's Family.
Never seen them. So
now, mind you, from Mama's Family, there are two characters from the Golden Girls on Mama's Family.
Mm-hmm. What is it? It's Betty White and Rue McClanahan, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect Strangers. It was 80s. It was Manhattan. It was funny. It was good. It was what it was. It was definitely. It was a classic comedy. It was when people think an '80s sitcom, that's actually what they think of as Perfect Strangers. You know what? Definitely, Golden Girls was the funniest. Married with Children had some. It was really edgy at the time. Yeah, Golden Girls was by and far the funniest. You know
I
what
don't
would have
know.
been?
Mama's Family hit some fucking limits too.
You want to know how? My God, this is how bad my memory is. Like I can remember this crystal clear. Perfect Strangers used to come on the USA Network every day at 3 p.m. and at 3:30 was My Two Dads.
For me, it was ABC Friday night. Because it was TGI Fridays, and that's when they would air Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, but they would syndicate it during the week. And
well, we didn't see that because we only had like 4 channels.
Yeah, the USA Network would put it on during the day, and then right afterwards they'd have an episode of My Two Dads.
But Perfect Strangers came first, and then they, after a couple of years, they ended up having what was it? Family Matters, because it was a spinoff from Perfect Strangers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the wife in Family Matters worked with Larry in a department store.
Huh. I never liked Larry. He's actually the reason I didn't like the show.
I love both of them. There was they did a special episode in the 90s to finally finish it off because they canceled it.
Yeah.
But they finally did a special episode where they're moving into a house and their girlfriends are pregnant. They're married. Well, they're married at this point. And they were all living in that tiny apartment still. But they move into a house and the girls end up giving birth on the same day.
That's so cool.
The final episode is them, because they bought the house, they were, moving in and everything, and the girls went into labor. And Larry and Balky get to see their children. At least that's how I remember it. I could be wrong, but I think that's how it ended.
And no, you missed it. You missed the last scene. ICE busts in, arrests Balky, and deports him.
Oh man. The best episode of that entire series is the one where they're looking for something sealed in the wall and they have the mural in his room. Oh my God, you remember that? The fake food?
Oh God. Yeah. They still make these.
I never understood why they would make toy fast food when I was a kid. I just never understood this when I was little. I was like, why do they have this? Why don't you just get real food? Who wants to play with food?
I love this movie, American Werewolf in London.
Again, guys from Long Island. Why is it all of the scary horror movies are about people from Long Island?
Because New York's a scary place these days.
No, but it's always like the New Yorkers they're in a different country or a different part of the country, and the shit's happening to them.
Because Hollywood lacks originality.
Yeah.
And it's an
McDonald's
easy
Super Mario Brothers 3.
It's an easier stereotype to write for.
Yeah. True. I actually had, I think, that turtle that you squeeze.
Which gal would you love to go out on a date with?
Madonna looks huh?
Brooke Shields, Phoebe Cates, Susanna Hoffs, or Madonna?
Madonna looks exactly like my sister, so no.
Fucking crazy, so we'll throw her in this incinerator. And the only other one I know up there is Brooke Shields, who's too tall. So, fuck them, none of them. I don't care.
Phoebe Cates, I had the biggest crush on when I was a kid. And what's her name from what is it? She was the walk like an Egyptian girl. What's her name? Yeah, her.
Yeah.
The girl from the Bangles.
Yeah, Bengals.
They actually.
Yeah, I gotta stop trying to click on your Google shit. On the screen, on the bottom of the screen. I'm like trying to click on it. I'm like, wait, I have more tabs open than that.
Yeah, it's funny. She's actually, that girl was the reason that the Bangles broke up, because she started getting all the attention.
Well, she was the hot one.
Yeah, that's why.
She actually had a voice.
Yeah, I was gonna say she had that husky voice too.
Well, the girl supergroups never last very long.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, what a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I love
no, I should my fucking talent in the 80s actually playing outside.
Well.
Oh my God, Head of the Class. They also did a version of Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, don't really care.
And then there's Head of the Class, which is this one, and then they had another season where it's a completely different class, and I stopped watching at that point.
Well, it was first they changed teachers. They got rid of the teacher with the mustache, and then they got in Billy Connolly, the Scotsman, and then they gave them a whole new class.
Now, I continued watching when Billy Connolly was hosting or doing the show because Irish accent. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, Kel, check it out. You see the black chick in the red the red sweater thing that she's wearing with the dress?
Yeah.
That's the one that was married to Mike Tyson that took him for all his money. That's Robin Givens. This was the last thing that she ever did.
Her name is Robin?
Yeah.
And she married Tyson, so she mean Robin Tyson.
Yeah.
She kept her last name. A lot of celebrities do that. They keep their last name.
No, Robin Tyson.
Oh, cute.
Yes, it's funny. I get you.
I haven't seen this show in years. I used to remember when it was on all the time.
Kind of like
haven't seen that show in ever.
Kind of like Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
better than Saved by the fucking Bell.
Yeah, much better. Did this take place here or in Chicago?
Give me a second, and I will look at. I'm looking it up on IMDb.
Yeah.
That's
part of the. That was part of. Sorry.
I was about to say the 80s, back when Alyssa Milano was still sane.
Yeah. They you know what it was like when I was a kid? New
York.
Yeah, everything took place in New York when I was a kid. That's the reason when I grew up, I had problems adjusting. When I left here, I'm like, wow. All right, there's other stuff besides New York.
Okay, this guy is William G. Schilling.
Mm-hmm.
This is Janetta Arnett. We should recognize this guy. It is Dan Fishman, who also played in Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Givens.
The big fat guy with the DA, I forget his name, but he's actually somebody.
This one is Christine Haji.
She don't look Indian.
H-A-J-E. Kimberly Russell. Dan Schneider. Howard Hessman, who also played on WKRP Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Let's see. Going back. Him, the bad boy, Brian Robbins. So that makes him Tony O'Dell. Fantasy Valley. Leslie
That's why I
Vega.
remember him. The big guy in the back I was asking you about?
Yeah, him.
Dan Schneider. He's one of these kitty diddling predators.
Oh, really?
Alleged pedophile Dan Schneider gets bounced from Nickelodeon.
All right, you end up also having Joer Coleman on the show, Rain Pryor, Michael DeLorenzo, which I recognize him. He's a. Let's see what else he's been in. Real quick. He was in Alive, A Few Good Men, New York Undercover.
Which one is this?
He's not in this. Unless that's him, but I'm pretty sure that's not him.
Oh, the pretty boy in the leather jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was in...
I'm looking on IMDb. No, he's from 89 to 91. And so he's the next class.
Ah.
Then you have Laura Piper. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Oh my God! Short Round was in 25 episodes. Jonathan K. Kwan. Billy Conley as Billy McGregor. Reed Rudy. A lot of people that didn't continue the career after. Lori Petty was in 2 episodes. I love Lori Petty. Okay. And we, of course, have David Bowie. Peter Reed. Oh, look, McDonald's cookies.
Wow. Remember those?
God, they were fucking nasty. Yeah, New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough, 1988. I actually have their music when they did a concert. I do believe it was in New York. Of them doing the Hangin' Tough album. Big Nugget Buddies. Oh my God, the talking calculator. I fucking hated that thing too.
Everyone hated that thing.
Why was it hated?
Because it spoke like a speak and spell. It was fucking creepy. Okay, speak and spells, Teddy Ruxpin's, all the electronic things that spoke to you from the 80s, if you didn't take the batteries out of them fucking things, would start talking in the middle of the night.
It was a little bit disconcerting.
It was very, very creepy. My mom had gotten me Speak and Spell at a yard sale for like 25 cents, only because, you know, it's not for me to play with. And I would make it say all sorts of shit. And one night I came running out of my room and into my mom's room. There's a fucking monster in my closet. And she's like, no, there's not. No, there's not. Well, one time I was staying over either at my aunt's or my grandmother's, and my mom's hearing talking coming out of my room. So she goes and digs through my closet and finds the fucking Speak and Spell sitting there, repeating the entire vocabulary that it had learned.
Oh, but that was great.
Oh, it fucking freaked her out. She went immediately. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And she went immediately and threw that fucking thing in the dumpster. She thought it was possessed. All right, who was the best 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger character? Commando, Predator, Conan, or Terminator?
Terminator.
Dutch.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dutch and Predator.
I'm gonna have to go with Conan.
Why? You couldn't understand him.
Barely talks. Give me the one in Conan. Hot body. Even though I'm not really a muscle girl, I don't like guys with a lot of muscles. But he barely talks.
He barely talks in Terminator.
I never really liked the first Terminator. I like Terminator 2 and Terminator 3. Anything after that is like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow. Yeah, I rarely hear someone say they like Terminator 3.
Oh yeah, I like Terminator 3.
Yeah, so did I too. I also like the Salvation when it took place during when it was actually set in the goddamn war.
Bless you.
Now I had these, but it was really weird when you're playing with them and suddenly the fur starts sloughing off and all you feel is this weird smooth shit.
So that's where that basket was from. Like what Mama Bear's pushing. I had that. I never knew where that basket came from.
Yeah.
Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, yeah.
What is written in his glasses?
CD something. Maybe 62%.
That's all the power he has. Got it. Oh, I love Clue. Clue is hilarious. You have
What, the movie Clue?
Yes. You have Tim Curry. Susan Sarandon. Fuck, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. He plays Colonel Mustard.
Martin Mull.
Thank you. And you have Christopher Lloyd. I don't remember her or the Mr. Green. I can't remember him. I own this movie on DVD. It's an ad.
On his glasses, it was CSM-101.
My reaction when people ask me if I like today's music, TV shows, and movies. And it's the Muppet guys hanging up over the balcony. So Scooby, you're going to introduce me to Ralph Macchio? I think he's still alive.
I could give it a shot. My sister's actually, her ex-husband is his cousin through marriage. Like, his cousin married Ralph Macchio. I've still never met the fucking guy.
Oh, I had this He-Man. Battle Armor He-Man. You also have Battle Armor Skeletor, and you have them battle, and their chest flips around as you hit it to show damage.
It's got like 3 or 4 different ones. One is there's no mark. One is there's 1 slash, and the other one is where it's all fucked up looking like that.
Yep. Okay, now see, this is what the Happy Meal should still have for Halloween at McDonald's. Is have the fucking buckets, buy your kid a Happy Meal at Halloween from McDonald's and insist that they give you the fucking buckets. That way you don't have to go out and spend fucking $5 that you already spent on a goddamn Happy Meal, and you already have a fucking bucket. Either that or stop buying them these expensive fucking buckets and just get them a goddamn extra large pillowcase and carry that around. Only since burlap bags are no longer in style. Who's the prettiest 80s sitcom sister? Married with Children's Kelly Bundy. Family Ties, Mallory Keaton. Charles in Charge, Jamie Powell. Or Who's the Boss? Samantha Marcelli.
Alyssa Milano before she went fucking crazy.
I'll take a Kelly Bundy.
Not my type. I don't like any of them.
There's a movie that was done in the 2000s, late 90s. The first one I saw her in, because I know her name is something Apple. But the first movie I saw her in that had nothing to do with Married with Children was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was fucking hilarious. And then there's this other movie where this knight that's actually part of her family, her ancestor, gets magically transported to New York, I do believe. And what it is her boyfriend is trying to help her auction off parts of the castle and stuff. And he helps her find her inner strength instead of just being this pussy bitch. Because the guy keeps calling her Bunny and he's cheating on her. And she knows it but doesn't want to recognize it. And when he finally goes back to the past, you see that the woman he's about to marry is also her. All right, baby brother. It is 12:38. Do you want to end the show?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I'll stop sharing.
So, Nano, you got anything to show?
No. Other than...
Stop presenting me.
Oh.
No, I don't have anything.
Scooby?
You guys know the deal. I'm Scooby331. You can follow me here on YouTube. I am on Minds.com, Gab AI, Patreon, and PayPal. Any crowdfunding right now would really be helpful because trying to get a little bit of equipment together. It's actually what hindered me.
We actually had some people watching. Yeah. Sorry, guys. The last time I looked, there was no one fucking watching.
It was just Bull Rock and
yeah. Someone says Centipede, Dig Dug.
Yeah, they're gone. Who cares?
Little Trouble, Little China. Mega Man. So yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I was done.
Tara?
I'm Tara Sin. You can find me on pretty much any social media except for on Facebook. It is Ambrosia Locke with an E. Tomorrow night I host on my channel. I'm still working on my Eagle video. I finally learned how to remove sound and put sound over, but the very beginning of the movie is for some reason all messed up, so I've got to try and fix that. So I have to start from scratch. So that'll be out at some point. Finally.
I remember those guns.
Yeah, this is one of them that turns out our aunt bought for us to play with while you were here, and she forgot to give them to us. So, and there was also this like little megaphone that changed your voice when you spoke. So, I gave one of these little guns because it came in a 2-pack to my roommate's kid for him to play with, so that we could like shoot each other. And him the megaphone, and I told him, I said, now if I tell you that that's getting annoying, I want you to stop. And the first time you say I don't care, I'm taking it away. Because his mom doesn't argue when it's shit I've given to him. I'm done.
All right. I am an American Celt, and as usual, I have Jack shite to the shill. See you guys next time.